Should you start a personal brand or a company brand? These have been some of the big questions that a lot of people have been asking, and in today's video, I want to share with you our thoughts on this. Hey, what's going on? My name's Tim, one of the founders here at 𝗦𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗕. We help take the fear out of marketing and advertising your business using battle-tested strategies and creativity to bring you a better ROI. You probably heard a lot of people nowadays talking about why you need to build a personal brand. Personal branding is where it's at. Without a personal brand, you blah, 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 all kinds of things about personal branding. But today, I really want to talk about, should you do a personal brand or a company brand, and what makes the most sense for you starting your business or if you're already in business. So nowadays, everybody is going and talking about personal branding, and you see a whole bunch of people out there that are just using their name as their brand, right? I mean, you could probably name a lot of them, especially in the entrepreneurial marketing world. Everybody just uses their name. So for instance, instead of our channel being 𝗦𝗦𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗖𝗥𝗑𝗕𝗙, it would just be Tim 𝗦𝗑𝒀𝒀𝒀𝒀😅, right? And to me, it really depends on what your end goal is. Because if you really look at it, the big thing is, yes, personal branding is important. A lot of people talk about it, and I think that a lot of people have just been using personal branding to go forward, and that is just really their brand. But like I said, it all comes down to, what do you want to do with your brand? What are your goals? What do you really want to happen years from now? So when we were looking at creating our business, a lot of people kept telling me, no, you should go and you should just have a personal brand. Don't worry about naming your company something. Don't worry about whatever. Like, people don't buy from brands. People buy from people and blah, blah, blah. All the things that people talk about. But here's the thing. I knew that I did not want to start a business that was only going to last in my lifetime. I want to create a business that is going to last for generations to come, and I hope that if my kids want to continue on the business, they have an opportunity to keep growing and keep growing the business, and for their kids and so on and so forth. Exactly the same as like your Coca-Colas, your Hershey's, all of those big, large brands that have really stood the test of time. That is the kind of brand that I want to build. And I know that that will not be possible if my company is me. Because me as an individual, I can only last for so long, right? Unless a vampire comes and bites me tomorrow and I last forever, my personal brand is not going to continue on. Yes, people may still talk about me, people may do all that stuff after I'm dead and gone, but the brand itself will possibly not be able to survive as long. Yes, some people may argue that it could, those kind of things, but the reality is also, if you want to build a business and be able to sell that business, it is a lot easier when you have a brand that is not attached to your name, right? Perfect example is PayPal. Most people had no earthly idea who Elon Musk was with PayPal, any of that stuff, until after he sold PayPal, did Tesla, did all that kind of stuff. His personal brand has grown over time, but he didn't go out and make Elon Musk cars, right? No, he made Tesla brand, right? And Tesla, just like anything, a lot of the stuff that Tesla was known for was power and, you know, being able to harness electricity and power and that kind of stuff. And that's what he has, is electric cars, right? And the brand matches what the products and services are, right? It's not Elon Musk cars. It's not blah, blah, blah. And yes, you can argue like, oh, well, what about Ford? That's, you know, so and so. And yes, some of the older brands do use a name, but if you look, it's only the last name, or it's only a first name. More times than not, it's a last name, but it's not Tim 𝗦𝗦𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗢 Cars or, you know, whatever, right? It's not, at one point it was Henry Ford Motors, right? But now it's just Ford, right? They've kind of condensed it down and that kind of stuff. But to me, I'm like, if you go after everything with a personal brand, you essentially are going to end up limiting some of your options, right? And yes, I understand that some people probably don't want to sell their business. Some people don't want this and that and whatever. These are just the reasons why we ended up going with Scary Good Marketing and not, the 𝗦𝗖𝗔𝗥𝗕𝗘 agency or the whatever. One also is because my last name most people can't say. So I don't really want to try and build a brand on a name that is difficult for people to say, right? Because a confused mind never buys. And the other thing is I'm not going to change my name just to make it easier or to do whatever. I'm like, I want a company that can be independent of me, but I can also build my personal brand at the same time, right? It's just like, right, look at, Amazon, Apple, any of those, none of the businesses were named after their creators. But their creators also have personal brands, and they can pretty much go out and build whatever they want because they have really, their brand has built their personal brand, which I think is a lot easier to do and makes a lot more sense because now you have essentially two assets, right? You have your brand that you created and your personal brand, and you can go off on your personal side and you can go out and build a whole bunch of other brands and build brands very quickly and then be able to go and turn around and sell those brands because it's, like I said, it's a lot easier to sell a brand name, something that has a whole bunch of followers that people have bought into that brand, than it is to go from a personal brand and then kind of create another brand. Because there's a few companies that built their entire everything on a personal brand, and now they're having a really difficult time getting people to adopt part of essentially their rebranding strategy. Because the other thing is, if you build your entire business off of your personal brand, right? Like if tomorrow I decide, hey, I don't really want to do marketing anymore, I want to go and do something else. Well, if now all that I am branded 100% as a marketing guy because that was my company and blah, 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 that's what people are going to remember, right? Where in tandem, it's like, oh, he built this multi-million, billion-dollar marketing company, right? Not, oh, he is the multi-million-dollar marketing company, right? It's a little it's very subtle, but there's a big difference in that, right? That's why, if you look at actors, this is a perfect example is if you look at actors, why certain actors get typecast is because an actor, you are your brand, right? Your name is your brand. Everything heavily relies on personal branding, and that's why it becomes very difficult for them to go out and do anything else because they become typecast in certain things, and it limits the growth of that actor, right? And that's why, if you're going to do the personal branding thing, you need to look at it more on an actor standpoint and be able to make sure that you're not essentially going to pigeonhole yourself into one specific thing. And that's really my thoughts on branding, right? And that kind of stuff, because at some point you may change your mind. You may want to do something else. You may, be inspired to go do something else. And some people have an easy transition, but with personal branding, it becomes very difficult sometimes to do that. And that's why I don't always agree that your personal brand should be 100% what your business is. I think that you should create a business brand, and your business brand can help fuel your personal brand, right? That's how I like to think about it. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that today. As I said, I think that there's everybody's just jumping on the bandwagon of personal branding. And I do understand the value of personal branding, but I wanted to give you my thoughts and my point of view when it comes to how you build your business and how you do that kind of stuff. So I want to leave you with that. Now, what I would like you to do is go and leave a comment below of what your brand is, or if you're a personal brand. I'd love to take a look at everybody's brands, kind of get an idea, maybe give you some feedback on our thoughts of what we think about your brands, that kind of stuff. If you're interested in that, leave a comment below this video. And if you found anything helpful or anything useful in this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to get more content like this, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.